Let's talk about AI Navmesh Link. So I made this little parkour the AI must go through, which is all like the Navmesh line. But there's like holes in the Navmesh, like you can see here, because we will add Navmesh Link to connect two Navmesh together. And in here, Navmesh Link are used to cross obstacles. Now it's just aligned, but in a AI like combat arena, if the AI like stumble across like some sort of hole, you must jump over it. Then we need to use a Navmesh Link. So I have this AI here, which I have in configure AI. I set is initial node to this AI node go to I have in my level. If I click this little arrow, it will select it, and it's in right at the end here. So the AI, when the AI will spawn, it will go to that go to node, and it will play a little animation. Okay, so let's get started. So the best way to create a Navmesh link, it will be to go in the top view into clone, like drag and clone an already existing mesh or plane. So I do the first one like this, and then put that smaller. And what I want to do is to connect both of those nav mesh. So I go in this view, and in geometry mode, as you can see in the previous tutorial, I can drag vertex, so both are connected. Now I want to shift X on this and selection bind to object, and I want to add AI Navmesh Link jump. So now the object link is centered on the brush, which is better for organization. And as you notice, I also have like 20 centimeter of offset at the top and at the bottom, also 20 centimeter. If I only select my Navmesh object, I can see here I have some setting. The important one is the smart object, which is the type. And I have here by default it's set as jump down, which is what we want because we want the AI to jump down this ledge. And for the other setting, we also have like our awareness, so we can change that to decide if the AI can only use this node if he's relaxed, or only use this node if he's like in danger. And there's also this thing called start disable, which can be useful to start the link disable at the start of the level. Or we can toggle that through scripting to make dynamic arena changement, like combat arena changement. But we'll saw that maybe in another tutorial. So this one is done. Now we want to check the next one, which is the same thing. It's a jump down, but the AI must also jump above, like a ledge, or here it's a rail. So the unit for this one, you must respect some units. The height of the rail or the ledge must be like it's 1 meter, I think. So yeah, it's like 1 meter in height, but it's a bit under 1 meter. It's 10 centimeter under 1 meter. And for the placement of the ledge also, if we check, it must be like 10 centimeter away from the ledge. And the height of the jump itself, as the first one, it can be anything. Just please make something realistic. So let's, I think it can be anything. So let's, maybe the AI will like die when falling. Okay, let's do this one. So like that. And let's bridge them together. And then again, Shift X, center marker, selection, bind to object, and then we'll choose AI Navmesh jump. And for this one now, we want to change, instead of jump down, we want to use jump rail. And that's it. Now the next one, the AI will need to jump above this cube. So this cube is 1 meter by 1 meter. And this is the size you'd want for this type of nav mesh, which AI must like jump, it's not like a jump above it, but it will like can slide. You'll see. When I will test the map. So the connection here is like perfectly inside the cube. Shift X, bind to object, and choose Navmesh Link dive through. But we want to change the type of smart object to dive over desk. So dive over this thing. Next one is a hole, and the AI we need to jump above the hole. So let's create the nav connection between the two nav mesh, like that, or more like this, Shift X, selection, bind to object, Navmesh Link, jump over. And it's important with this one to set the object in the hair, like that, because this decide how high the AI will jump. So the center of body of AI will try to reach this object. Next thing, we have a door, and for a door, well, let's create the link first, like that, then center marker, and again bind to object, but choose this time a Navmesh Link, a door. And if I select only the door, like that, shift to select only. This one, there's only one option, is door, but that one you won't use an object, which is the door itself, because it needs to know which door to open. This door is a prefab, so we could check inside the prefab the name of the door, but we can also press this B here and go inside a rotating door and then choose your door. We have only one in the level, so only that one, like this, and it's done. So next one, this is an obstacle. The AI will need to crouch under it. So let's put the link, Shift X again, selection, bind to object, AI Navmesh Link, duck under. So like that, and this height is 1 meter, I think. Let's check. Okay, so this height is 1 meter and a half, so 1 meter and 50 centimeter. It's something the player can also crouch under. Next one, the player definitely cannot go under this, but surprisingly the AI can. So let's do this. That. Again, same thing, bind to object. This one will be a Navmesh Link crawl. So the AI will need to... oh no, it's not a crawl actually. This one will be... and let's just delete the object. That one will be Navmesh Link duck under again, but this time we want, instead of saying using the duck under height, we use the duck under low because it's really low. Next one is the same, but on a way longer distance. This one will be the crawl one. Let's do that. This, Shift X, selection, bind to object, and this one will be crawl. Also for the unit, like as you can see, this one it's perfectly fit on my obstacle. This one also perfectly fit on it, but this one for the first duck under, which is like the higher one, the I one, for some reason this one is different. The animation is longer, so you'd want to have 1 meter on each side of free space. So now we are at the ladder. So this one will be the AI will need to climb a ladder, or it can be anything. The ladder is just here for like a visual. Also the ladder help. This is a prefab. This ladder prefab will be really helpful to know the distance between the bar, which is like 50 centimeters if I recall correctly. But if you want to know like use it as a guide for the AI to put his hand at the right place, you can use like this ladder in the prefab. I think it's in the prefab systemic, if I recall. Yes, it's in that. Okay, so now we need to link the bottom where I am here. I kind of lose myself actually. Where I am? Okay, I'm here. So Control G, geometry mode, and then we move the vertex to reach the top. Nav mesh. So now I have bridge both of the nav mesh, this one and this one. Important for ladder, you want the top to be at the ledge, the first nav mesh, and the bottom nav mesh you want like 40 centimeter away from the wall. So again, Shift X, center marker, and bind to object AI Navmesh Link ladder. Where is my? Oh no, it's climb. Yeah, let's climb. So by default it's okay. By default it's use ladder. So that's great. But oh, I also want to put that object at the top. I think we need to do that. So as you can see, I put the link object at the top of the ladder between the two. The next thing is windows that the AI will need to dive through, which if you recall, remember playing the single player of the game, you saw the AI do that a lot, which is really badass. So same thing, put the bridge and then bind to object. AI Navmesh Link dive through, and by default it will be okay. You'd want 1 meter here at the top view. It's 1 meter in length for the size of the link, the bridge, and the windows is 1 meter in the air. I also want to make the windows break when the AI will jump through it. So if I select only the Navmesh Link, which is set to dive through, I need to specify an object to activate. When we say activate, is that when the Navmesh will be crossed, the on command will be sent to that object. Actually, no. Since we want to break a window, we don't want to send an on command. We want to send a destroy. So what I will do is that this is a bit out of this tutorial, but I will create. I will center my marker on this window, and then I will create a trigger. So trigger, and in object mode I can change the size of this to match like the window, so something like that, and this. Now we have like this trigger, and we want to make it not player triggerable, but we want to make it AI triggerable. So AI triggerable to true, and as command we want to send a destroy command to the windows. So if I select the Windows prefab and I right click select prefab to know which prefab it is, this one, I open this prefab. Now I want to remember the name of the world model that the glass is. So I will copy the name to somewhere else on my computer, like in a note. So I copy this name because I will use it later. So it's the name of the world model, which is like the glass that will explode. We want to break. So now we go back to our main map, and we also want to copy the name of the windows here. Control C, because we'll use that also later. Now if I come back to my trigger, which is sometimes it's hard to select like trigger object, so I need to select it in my outliner. In properties now I can script my command, which will be MSG to send a command, and then the name of the prefab, so the name of the window, and then that's a pretty long, actually Are you sure this is the name? Okay. Oh yeah, it has like a double. It has a double underscore for some reason. That's interesting. Okay, so MSG clack and then dot, and then now we enter the prefab, and then the name of the world model, which we copy the first one. Okay, now it become yellow because it is detected, and then we use the destroy command like that, and this is it. So when the AI would touch that trigger, it will break the glass. I also want my trigger to be yeah, it seems to be correct, the position. Okay, so now what we want to do is we want to well, this is done. We want to do the next one, which is stairs. You could put just a bridge, like a normal Navmesh here, but we want, there's actually like a Navmesh Link for stairs, so the AI will play a specific animation. And what is cool also is that depending if the AI is in danger or relax, the animation will be different. So I want 10 centimeter from as offset from the top, and from the bottom I want 20. Now let's move that vertex to connect the both of them. Shift X center marker, bind to object, and AI Navmesh Link stairs. And we are done. So now the last thing we need to do is to be sure that each of the Navmesh Link are inside the Navmesh. So let's select all of them with by holding Control to select all the children inside. I should have put them inside at first, but that's okay. Then on the Navmesh link, on the Navmesh object, right-click, move tag node here. So now I have my Navmesh as a parent, which is like the whole path, and under it as children I have all my Navmesh link, and of course all the brush for the Navmesh. So if I select only like the Navmesh, it will select all the path, as you can see. So now I can save the map and compile. Now I can test this. So first it will jump down, then jump over the rail, then dive over this thing, jump over the hole, open the door like this, good boy, then duck, yes, then duck under this thing, yay, and then crawl, let's go, that's a good boy, then it will climb the ladder, then it will jump through the windows, et voila, and go down the stairs. And at the end it will play the little animation like we did that, and he can take a rest. He did good. So this is it for this tutorial. See you next time.